What's up, guys? It's Elijah from Young Gaming, and today we're continuing Final Fantasy ff14. Let's finish this quest and do the main story for, what's it called? The A Realm Reborn. Let's finish that. So we can start the hard mode trials and then start the grind for, relic weapons, the Zodiac weapons. I gotta read all this bullshit again. I turn the sound off. We've already heard all this, and I'm tired of hearing this music. Please turn it on low. I know how to do this. Bravo. I know how to do this. Yes, I'm aware. Now shut up. First try. Duty complete. Brothers and sisters of the Alliance, I will share with you glad tidings. That was spurred on by the news of siege Castrum Arrhenius. The maelstrom has struck a double blow. Castrum is sent into Castrum, Arrhenius now under blockade. Phase 2 of Operation Archon is a success. Ford tells the Guardians offered fierce that the arm will yield them not one ilm. The Lieutenant Marinium and Marine States the third phase may begin our even if we speak the order of twin matters moves to block the railway leading hither from chasm train that means but one thing. That can mean but one thing. Now we're going to strike the heart of the Guardian invasion force. Cassium Meridinium, the den of the Black Wolf. My fellow yours and I men feel the mystery silence of sudden dawn. There exist near burners, barriers divided so the race, nation, language, including the name of the Jews. Such barriers serve to isolate us from their neighbors. But they also serve to find any road. Some shorn in them there would be little distinguished one from another. Rich variety of artists who give still orthodoxy. These barriers can never truly be broken down. Which that's all we say. We can be trust to you, verily we do so now and coming together for this great endeavor to fight side by side in defense of the show home.
Awesome! Looks like maybe they're powering up! Well, in that case, I wish they'd end the song and dance. Just get on with it.
Before me stands the adventurer Eli. You'll know him as the man who will lead the task of destroying the ultimate weapon. We signs no different Eli, however, we know him as a dear friend who endured until the hardship on our path. A true hero has ever lays this for a path for us to follow. And why do I tell you this? I tell you, friends, because it's time for us to blaze a path for him. Our objective is to reach such havoc outside the walls of Meridian as to afford Eli and his comrades the time they need to disable the magic type field generator of him. With the path us clear, make I turn minds to true goals of operation, the destruction of the ultimate weapon, all troops prepare for battle. There can accompany this time the unevitable task of facilitating communication between our forces has been trusted to the islanders to see notes. That will be praying for your safe return. See that you come back, just my friend. May the crystal bless you and keep you. Stuff is the Black Wolf to Prado lands and more lands 600 ways behind. 4 comrades, 4 Yorza! Via 4 Yorza. 4 Yorza. But now Elan, bring us one step closer to the dawn. Have I done this before? Yes, I have. That was quick. Healer, ready up. Okay, the general's over here. That was easy. I'm running all powered cans. I gotta fight this bitch. The Lord was quite taken with you, and the power says to echo naturally. I cannot help but wonder whom this prince among men might be. Only discovered that you are better than another adventure, no better than a multitude. Yet despite this massive hold you to their champion and shadow on his playing that defies all reason. How is it that you can be such a fool and us that wherever you leave, how to go in your wake? You even slew riots on one of our very finest. But people will not speculate true until I couldn't care less how you've done things. What matters to me is the fact that you've done them. If you're allowed to continue, you will eventually deprive me of all that for all is mine by my right. You're about to die. Shut up. My name is my comrade to you, my lord guys. Well, you cannot have him. This brings the vision, body, soul, and mind. Do you hear me? All mine. Lost everything once before, I will not suffer to happen again. You're gonna die, so there's nothing to lose. I will kill you eventually, only death continues. You ain't good as shit. dead here. He's probably gonna be in second phase. You're almost dead, bitch. I will defeat you. Get shit on. No, it's happening all over again. Please, I cannot bear it. My Lord Gaius. Get shit on. Some water. Another poor fool who craved Gaius' affection over all else made her soul no rest. It's a miracle no harm has come to you, my friend. One for which I will happily give thanks. I have plot armor. Thanks to your fine visionary work, we succeed in bringing down the General Town with the magic tech field. The way to the Praetorium now lies open. The only process we can't reach it on foot. Now we'll need to take the Enterprise that left her at the cerulean process plant, so let's record there. This is the Eli, the final conversation, and wait. Almost level 52 or 53. The ultimate weapon. Ready up, DPS. The Praetorium. Praetorium, I should say. There's still that guy in the red armor to kill, unless he's still, unless he was killed by one of the other companies, like phase 2. So here we are. ultimate weapon will almost certainly be House of Dust Complex. This is it, my friend. There's Gaius. Gaius. Sid, my boy, you were late. There it is. Always something I always meant to tell you at the time never seemed right. Concerns your father. What of him? In whatever year my eyes came to the wars part of me, you told me that you wanted nothing more to watch his hands whole go sordid business. You did not wash his hands of it, healed the project till the day it killed her. Now, so you must know that he did not have a choice. By the time he was there, it was too late. Meteor had him completely in a thrall. Shortly before his transformation, made up sensing that something was amiss. Your father provided me all the records of his life, most of them concerned you. Early on in your career, it was that while you had a talent for devising arts, never fulfill you. Long before you knew your own mind, I saw that you would be far happier than using knowledge for peaceful purposes than you thought. While touching you as a changed man for it. Though he could not let it show. You ripped open walls in his place just so you could say this to me. What is it you want, Gaius? I want you on my side to take up your father's will and become the Empire's lead is your destiny. My father had changed heart. You said so yourself, because I have long known my destiny, and I assure you it lies not with the Empire. I pity you. What of you eventually will you not consider making common cause with me? Hell no! If your powers join to mine, we might do much for the Sultan's care, bringing order to yours and usher in the lasting peace. No, I can't expect no better answer than this. So be it was your strength that made me profit my hand of friendship, and your strength that makes me profit down my blade. Save his value, you are too dangerous to be allowed to remain. Runs to their state and makes somebody can escape the past. Gaius, wait, damn it. That bulkhead's was a special ally of ships have ordinary fire and leave a mark of fire. I'm afraid. We'll need to divert all power to the magic can't tech cannons that did capture Morania. Numbers towards the light to expire from strain, but there's no help for it if we want to press on. Now listen well, press control, engage and sort and then fire like behind the warning lights. Fight the red guy. You have been leaving 5 minutes to wake up visitor. I knew it was the red guy. Someone there. I don't know if how long it's hard to hear your voice again after all these years. Nero, is that you? You sound well seen the savage land agrees with you. Highest rate contributed to the export of the 14th with you all this time. I don't know what, you've lost me. I'll play the fool with me ever since the academy I've been condemned to live in your shadow. By all objective measures, the more talented the two of us, yet that fact counted for not beside your privilege, wherever you admires the young prodigy simply because your father was a great minus none, darling. When you defected, felt sure my star would finally rise. But by experiencing part of the status legend, your reputed genius gaining credibility by instead of persecuting you for a trade of the people actually getting taken more from it. To this day, you're still the prodigy of Magitech. How many will I have ever been made to feel like a red? I have continued to serve my nation faithfully whenever I feel to excel lives that only be accepted. I expect to get when I exceed all reasonable expectations. People personally claim that I walk in the footsteps of great Sid and now in bloody Garland. Here I don't know what to say. That is not a way of what I achieved your existence. Remember my word. Remember mine was Stephen Lord Bond Bonds who offered to pitch you a place aside and despite your trophy extending all these such opportunities, man was spending a little time for all his years. Why no he did not? Long adventures do justice to no more. Lord Von Byler is in the midst of acting as a fully powered ultimate weapon. Recently I've acted out in the creation of women, the recognition I am deserved. Nero, what are you? Ever since I first said at midnight, Atlanta, I'm watching every move you made, every step you've taken. You felt Akon's defeat made possible by that computer tower which shields you from their corrupting influence. It is of little wonder that my lord has taken an interest in you. As have I. Truth's goal is my desire has your proper use an ultimate weapon. That's a big hammer. Should I see one involved violers will surely take notice. Besides his garlands achievements will be his child's play. Adventure and ultimate secret for your power. This changes nothing. Haha, the ultimate weapon is activated and brings the power of the icons. I think it was saying it's mine. I can. Are you alright? What a mere flag, damn it. It's prepared to plug up the instruments and take the mass car stuff to the deepest chamber. All these guys are certain that we have enough time to be replaced. We're to arrive from this alliance short while ago since the order of 20 hours completed its block of cast for 30% entry. It's like it's very hasting this way even as we speak it. I believe there's all from all the flips destroy the weapon. Destroying the chamber which houses the target appears to be saturated with different energies. There's bound to be having any interference. If we lose contact, you must go on and just do it. We think I would do alright.
Control panel. It'll be somewhere nearby. Take the lid down, and you should find yourself in the chamber of the Ultima weapon. Keep your eyes peeled. Gaius could be waiting for you down there. Oh, and don't even think about dying. You're too bloody useful. The interference is getting worse. I don't think the connection's lost much.
I gotta fight him again. Oh no, I'm fighting him.
Tell me, for whom do you fight?
The Alliance.
Do you believe in Eorzea?
Or Eorzea.
Eorzea's unity is forged of falsehoods. Its city-states are built on deceit, and its faith is an instrument of deception. It is not but a cobweb of lies. To believe in Eorzea is to believe in nothing. In Eorzea, the beast tribes often summon gods to fight in their stead, though your comrades only rarely respond in kind. Which is strange, is it not? Are the 12 otherwise engaged? I was given to understand they were your protectors. If you truly believe them your guardians, why do you not repeat the trick that served you so well in Cartano and call them down? They will answer, so long as you lavish them with crystals and gorge them on ether. Your gods are no different from those of the beasts. Icons, everyone. Except for this, and you will see how Eorzea's faith is bleeding the land dry. Nor is this unknown to your masters, which prompts the question, why do they cling to these false deities? What drives even men of learning, even the great Louis Soir, to grovel at their feet? The answer? Your masters lack the strength to do otherwise. For the world of man to mean anything, man must own the world. To this end, he hath fought ever to raise himself through conflict, to grow rich through conquest. And when the dust of battle settles, it is ever the strong who dictate the fate of the weak. Knowing this, but a single path is open to the infinite ruler, that of false worship, a path which leads to innovation and death. Only a man of power can rightly steer the course of civilization, and in this land of creeping mendacity, that one truth will prove its salvation. Come, champion of Eorzea, face me. Your defeat shall serve as proof of my readiness to rule. is only right that I should take your realm. For none among you has the power to stop me.
I have the power to stop you. I knew he was gonna have another phase.
Most impressive. Such... Yet, you lack... Allow me then, hero, to do that.
The Porta Securma. shit on. That's 2 icons out of your box. So. All you have looking is this for you.
The flame.
Sure about that. No more icons.
But the Ultima weapon is all-powerful. Why does my enemy still stand? Can his strength truly be so great?
It is the blessing of light that confounds you.
La Brea.
Your foe acts under the protection of the crystal he bears.
So, this is what empowers him.
Beyond mortal limits. If you are to prevail, the hammer of darkness must needs be brought to bear upon the shield of light. And so it shall, for the Ultima weapon is host to a power of which you are as yet ignorant.
Speak plainly, Ascian.
The heart of Sapik. It is the weapon's core, an enigma whose surface even the vaunted scholars of ancient Alec failed to scratch. The magic within has lain dormant for eons.
Of what magic do you speak?
A spell without parallel. Ultima. I sought the life force of the primals for no other reason but to quicken the core. For the true power of the Ultima weapon lies within its now beating heart.
La Brea, what have you done?
No more than was necessary for my god to be reborn.
Damn you, Ascian.
The hour is at hand. Behold but a sliver of my god's power. From the deepest pit of the seven hells to the very pinnacle of the heavens, the world shall tremble. Unleash Ultima!
Such devastation! This was not my intention!
Oh, Heidelin. It seems the task of keeping your champion alive has exhausted what strength you had left. Van Belzar, your enemy's shield is broken. The rest I leave to you.
We will speak later, Ascian. But first, I must deal with you. The question of who is mightier remains. Come, adventurer. Let us find the answer together.
Of course he has an entire new health bar.
Heed me. The subjects of a weak ruler must... The misguided elevate the frail, and the frail lead the... Unless a man of power. You were the...
Pathetic.
I'll be right back. I gotta go to the bathroom.
boasted of unrivaled power. You were entrusted with the ultimate weapon, the ultimate magic. And still, you failed. So much for the glory of man. The growing imbalance of... If it is permitted to worsen, the very laws of Know you the root of this corruption? Like a parasite, she must be burned out if the planet is to recover. And naught but the return of the one true God will ensure her complete excision. Yet, to pave the way for the Master's return, a chaotic confluence of untold proportions must needs be brought about. And that will necessitate the presence of the primals. Needless to say, both you and your scion accomplices cannot be suffered to interfere in this endeavor. You will not leave this place. It is past time.
one-shot you. I was gonna say that doesn't one-shot me. After this, I'm gonna take a nap because I'm tired.
If thou wouldst pierce the shadows, make thee a blade of light.
What?
You're still alive?
And so my... in smoke and ashes.
Here. Warrior of light, beloved son. The darkness hath fled before the unclosed brilliance of thy spirit. Yet it lingereth still beyond the sight of men, in forgotten corners of the world. In the depths of the abyss yet resideth the Dark One, watchful ever, till this evil be cast out. Never shall the world know aught but a passing peace. Yet for the present, a gentle light shineth o'er the realm of Eorzea. With thee at its heart. From sparkling moat shall it swell to glorious sun, and all the world shall bask in its warmth. Blessings and joy be upon thee. Go forth, my child, and be as a beacon of hope for Eorzea and the lands beyond through all the days of thy life.
My lady, all Twin Adder units have fallen back.
The flames have complete... Admiral!
He's still...
Sid! Nothing.
Damn! He's going to... Ida is...
Sid, can they... That adventurer and this... We cannot abandon them to their...
I wholeheartedly agree. There must be...
Please, Mother Heidelin.
Look into the light, my child. If thou wouldst see thy companions returned safe to thee, reach out to them now.
There!
Oh!
Our warrior of light.
Yes! The hero returns!
Look!
Thank Heidelin. Welcome home.
I'm actually not gonna get off. I'm gonna go eat lunch, and then I'll get
You
off.
almost got us
And
killed
then I'll
that one
play
time,
some more.
remember?
Now, we both know that was your fault.
Thank the 12 we're safe.
Mind your horns there, man-bull.
Mayhap
This is
when
the
you
end of the
mind
base
your
game,
manners.
at least the main story. There's some post-game content. for
Though the
main
crystal that bound Thancred is no more, I doubt we can say the same of La Habrea.
game. This was a W main base game.
And even if we could, we know that he
Here's
is
one
not
more.
alone. Confounded Ascians.
Can Drew put my sheet on before he leaves?
Their god may be unknown to us,
Or you want to do
but
it
their
when we get
zeal
home?
is unquestionable. Suffice it to say, it would be folly to assume that they no longer pose a threat.
I have no
Nevertheless,
idea. I was trying.
Because you fucking lean on the goddamn bed like you're not supposed to. All you have to do is lift it up.
for now we must savor what peace we have won, however ephemeral. Do you see, Grandfather? Our first step towards realizing the dream for which you gave your life.
Friends, the dread night of Imperial tyranny and Ascian machination is ended. A new day now begins in Eorzea.
True to their name, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, along with our champion, have delivered us from darkness.
Let their shared victory serve to remind us of our shared history. And let their bravery in the face of adversity inspire future generations.
Doubt not, the realm will need bravery in the days to come. Old rifts threaten to divide us within our walls, while hordes of beastmen claw at our gates. And though the Black Wolf be slain, the rest of the pack remains. Yet no foe need we fear, so long as we stand as one.
So long as the Scions stand for peace.
So long as our champion stands fast. For there exists no adversity over which we may not jointly prevail.
No longer can we turn a blind eye to the suffering of our allies.
No nation stands alone. If one should fall, so shall we all. Eorzea is our shared home. For any one of us to know peace, so too must our neighbor.
Just as we join in solidarity before you this day, so too shall our grand companies be joined henceforth to strive not only for the good of mere nations, but for the good of all the realm.
Change will not come overnight. Yet I foresee a day, not so very far from now, when the lines that divide our lands fade, and all of Eorzea is one.
It has been but 5 short years since the Battle of Cartano. 5 years since the advent of the 7th Umbral Era. No victory, however sweet, can wash away our bitter sorrows. No triumph can reclaim those we lost. Yet do not presume you honor them by dwelling on the past. It was not the past they fought for. You would repay their sacrifice by looking to the future.
A future united, as the warriors of light united in the champion.
Now is the time for us to rise as one, bearing all of Eorzea on our shoulders.
5 years ago, Eorzea bore witness to the end of the 6th Astral Era. Now, the 7th Umbral Era draws to a close, yet we come together not to glory in its end, but to mark a new beginning.
Especially after seeing him in Sinners, but I'll give Tom a shot. I'm sure he'll do good. And I like what DC's doing right now, in mostly hiring unknowns or rising actors for their characters. It's a smart
Let it be written that on this day, by the light of the crystal, Eorzea ushered in a new era. The 7th Astral Era is come! And thus is ours a realm reborn!
For you to see this film, directed by James Watkins and written by Mike Flanagan. And Mike Flanagan said his clay-based horror movie script is inspired by the Batman animated series. So you know we're gonna get some really special. Gotham City, not a Batman project, a clay-based project. But hey, a horror movie set in Gotham from the villain's perspective, that has a lot of potential. Hopefully, Gotham is fully fantastical. I want to see it through a horror movie perspective. And this is wishful thinking, but I really hope they manage to cast Batman and he can cameo in this movie. Could you imagine Batman being in a horror movie and we see him through the villain's perspective? That would be insane. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the casting?
I heard you once stood up to Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, I did. He was doing a match with Randy Orton, and he was basically like just decided he wanted to come challenge me, and he's laughing, and he's like actually saying things that would probably get canceled, like homophobic terms that he shouldn't be saying. I was like, fucking bite his fucking nose off. He might kill me, but he's gonna walk around for the rest of his life with that fucking nose.
I heard you once. This was my go-to gone for before I lost 160 pounds, and honestly, it's pretty embarrassing, but I just wanted to show all of you how I used to eat and see if I could still finish all this food. I'll show you everything in the bag, and then we'll start eating. First, I'll make a 20-piece nugget with about 300 waters and sauces.
What is it?
That's a lot of food, but you thought that was it?
That roar. It can't be.
Did you hear that?
There's no time to spare.
Where is it coming from?
Made my way through the first 14 nuggets, still having a great time.
Dread tidings, chaos and carnage!
I thought the McDouble was the finest piece of food ever created.
It is an abomination! A primal has awakened!
But it is still very tasty. So I'm pretty uncomfortable, and I realize there's really no sense in me doing this, so I'm gonna stop eating now. All that's left is the remains of this McChicken and McDouble combo, an untouched McChicken sandwich, and 2 nuggets. If I were to continue down this path for the rest of my life, it's pretty apparent that I would have quickly eaten myself out of the ability to walk, and that's just very sad. And I'm just thankful every single day that I finally decided to start taking care of myself.
Now, if you're from the United States, you probably never heard of a kid named Lamine Yamal.
Anakin.
This actually fills in beer.
Cast Bahamul move.
Bahamut. Horde.
Monday found my slides. It's over.
Who the fuck is that at this point?
Tiptoe. Dexter Morgan, Special Agent Lundy wants to see you.
I'm sure that you heard we have a suspect in the Bay Harbor Butcher case. Put him on. We now have the evidence to back it up. We need answers. Now. Explain it to us. Trophies. That's what I thought. James Douglas, Sergeant.
Bahamut stirs.
One Hazaz move star.
As the others ear long. It's not a question whether you're the championship still lead, but of when. And with each passing move, we draw closer to the reckoning. The one true God. The Zodiac. I'm gonna go get lunch. Oh God. I'm just relaxing for a few minutes. Excuse me. Excuse me. Did you ask Deantra's mom if you can come over today?
What?
Did you ask Deantra's mom if you can come over today?
No, I haven't.
Oh. I'm gonna take a break because I'm tired.